So guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking into the NIX Hydration Biosensor. And I am going to skip right ahead into real time, but right now is the morning of my very first run where I'm about to put on the NIX Biosensor for the first time. So I have the little biosensor, like that's it right there. It's very small. And then in here, I have one of the single-use pads or stickers. And ultimately, this goes onto the sticker goes on your arm, then you go for a run. But I'll dig into what the NIX Hydration Biosensor actually does in just a second. But let's open this up and see what it looks like. Here's the pad. We have like a mounting bracket on it that should line up with the mounting pattern on the back. Oh, it's very easy. It goes in, it turns once to the right, and it locks in. And now it's lit up. So I've got a little light flashing on the top that's telling me it's connected. And then let's peel the backing off. Look at that on the back. Can you see that? Okay, oh, this is sticky. All right, let me put this on my arm, put it on the widest part of my bicep. Okay, I think that's how it goes. Okay, let me just grab my phone, open up the NIX Biosensor app. It asks what workout are we doing today? We are running, my average running pace. This is a little difficult, but I'm gonna keep it at 8:30 because I think with warm up and cool down, and my running a little faster in the middle, probably gonna be around my average. Let's go next. We are working outdoors. Okay, here's a tricky thing. It's asking me what I'm going to drink. I'm actually not going to drink anything while I'm out today, but it does have a full list of drinks. Would you like to receive hydration notifications? Let's say yes. I want to know the volume of fluid loss. I think we will keep it at 1 ounce. Let's say a period of time. I don't want to know every 5 minutes. So let's say every 20 minutes. Now it's asking me to start a workout, which is what I have to do on the NIX app before I actually start running, but I still have to drive and meet some running buddies. So let's go do that now. Let me just cut in right here because I want you to know the price moving forward, because the NIX Hydration Biosensor is very affordable, especially when we consider all that it does. So you can buy the NIX pod itself and 4 patches for $129, and then you can buy a 4-pack refills of the one-time use patches for $25. There is an option to subscribe and then save 10%, so that would be $22.50. And when you buy the pod, it comes with everything you need. It comes with this nice little Oyster case, which is their charging case, and of course the charging cable. Okay, back to it. Now, while I'm driving to meet my running buddies to go for a run, I did say that I'm going to get notifications from the NIX Hydration Biosensor. And I have my Apple Watch on one arm, and I have my Garmin watch on the other arm. I have the NIX app and data field set on my Garmin Forerunner 965. So that's where I'm going to be receiving notifications today. I am about 55 minutes in to my first run using the NIX Hydration Biosensor, and I'm not getting any data. Just so you know, it is 75 degrees, 87% humidity. My shirt is soaked, so I know I'm sweating, but for some reason the sensor isn't picking it up. I have checked, it is connected to the app. I am 99% sure it's user error, but I want to make this mistake so you don't have to. I just did 4 miles at tempo too, so that really got the sweat flowing. So I just want to interrupt here to tell you that it was totally user error. So you saw that I just filmed myself before I went out for that first run, and I actually put the patch on, I set up the app, so my phone was connected to the NIX pod, and then I drove for about 10 minutes to meet some friends. When I got to see my friends, I probably stood around for 10 minutes just chatting to them before I pressed the start workout on the app and then went on with the run. So what I'm thinking happened during that time was that the Bluetooth connection between the NIX pod and my phone became separated. And when it was separated and I wasn't paying attention and I just hit start, it wasn't actually able to reconnect via Bluetooth after the workout had been started. That's what I'm thinking. It kind of makes sense because I had no problems whatsoever every other time I used it. Okay, let's do a couple more workouts. All right, I'm out for my second run with a NIX Hydration Biosensor, and it immediately worked. Like, it connected, there was no ambiguity, and I've been running for about 10 minutes, and it's already showing that, it's not telling me that I've lost any electrolytes yet, but it is telling me that I need to drink, right now, 0.8 ounces. I need to drink 0.8 ounces after about 10 minutes of running. Oh, and the timing of this run, it's about 3:15 a.m. and it is 73 degrees out, so I'm definitely going to be breaking a sweat on this morning's run. Okay, that's my run wrapped up for today. It was 13.3 miles, so it was 73 degrees Fahrenheit, and according to the NIX pod, I lost 117 ounces of fluid and about 4295 milligrams of electrolytes. So we'll dig a little deeper into that once we get into the house. All right, out on another run with the NIX Hydration Biosensor. So far I'm about 6 miles in and lost 40.3 ounces and about 1350 milligrams of electrolytes. We'll see what we finish at. Okay, I just wrapped up that run and we'll just run over the specs from this run. Not the specs, the stats. So on this run, I lost 78.2 ounces of sweat and 3184 milligrams of electrolytes. So again, that is quite a lot. It does give me a rating of 78, which they consider high, although it's not as high as a run I did last week that gave me a rating of 86, which I don't know when it switches to very high, but I do think I am a high sweater, and apparently I lose a lot of electrolytes too. So yeah, maybe we'll go for one more run, see if we can get any different data, and then we'll go into the studio, we'll talk about it, and we'll decide which electrolyte replacement drink is best for me, you know, based on all my data, based on my sweat rate, based on my electrolyte loss. That'll be fun. It's another blazing hot morning, and this morning I'm going to get dirty. I'm heading to the trails, and I have my NIX Hydration Biosensor right here. Going to slap it on my arm as soon as I get there, and we'll see how much I sweat after an hour or so of trail running. All right, I've been running for a few minutes, and yeah, this morning it's going to be a soaker today. I'm going to be dropping some sweat. Let's see, I started at 6 a.m. It's probably like 6:15 right now. It's currently 78 degrees, and the heat index is 86 degrees, so it's definitely toasty already. We've got a good sunrise right here. All right, the NIX Hydration Biosensor is strapped on, and I'm going to estimate on this run my NIX score is going to be high 70s. Let's say that. We'll see at the end what it turns out to be. All right, I'm about 50 minutes into this workout, probably about halfway through, and totally soaked. So I am drinking precision hydration this morning. So I'm hoping this is going to make me feel a little better for the second half of the run. But right now, the NIX hydration sensor is saying that I've lost, I think it was 39 ounces, about 1400 milligrams of sodium or electrolytes. So I'm going to carry on with the run, fuel up just a little bit, and I'll let you know at the end what my totals are. Okay guys, that's a wrap. 10.1 miles up on Celery Fields. Let's see what my phone says about the NIX Hydration Biosensor. Total sweat loss, 92.7, 3,873 milligrams of electrolyte loss. Oh gosh, look at this, the conditions. The NIX score was 90 for this run. So even though it was only 10 miles, how long was it? Like an hour and 40 minutes maybe, something like that. It was a score of 90. The score only goes from 1 to 100. So this was definitely a pretty intense run, which totally makes sense because I actually got a lot of vert here in flat Florida. Okay, but now let's dig into what these results actually mean. What does it mean when I lose X amount of sodium electrolytes in a run? Let's talk about how the NIX pod actually works and what it actually recommends. Like, why is it good? Okay, so we've seen multiple examples of actually how the NIX Hydration Biosensor actually works. Well, not how it works, we've seen it working, right? We've seen it on my arm. We've been given numbers about how much sweat I'm losing and how much electrolytes I'm actually losing. So on the surface, if we don't ask any questions, it just seems like, yeah, I'm losing some sweat, I'm losing some electrolytes, it makes sense. But the NIX Hydration Biosensor is actually like a portable lab just attached to your arm, because it's evaluating the biomarkers in your sweat to get that electrolyte loss, right? And it's personalized, it's happening moment to moment. And after you use NIX a couple of times, it actually quantifies what you need to drink, or what is ideal for you to drink in order to replace the electrolytes that you're using. Oh, and I did want to just clarify one thing. So you can have it on your Garmin watches or your Apple Watch. Now there is a NIX app and there is a NIX data field. And what you've seen throughout this videos is the NIX data fields. So I have just been using my normal run program on my Garmin watch, and then I've got a separate data screen with my sweat loss and my electrolyte loss. That just seems the best way for me to evaluate on the run how much I'm losing, so I know how much to replace. Now this is one of those disposable patches. You use it once, you throw it away. But it's pretty interesting what's going on here on the back. But rather than me holding it up, I've got a nice handy graphic to put on the screen right now. And basically, according to NIX, the time it takes for sweat to travel from the first set of electrodes to the second set is leveraged to create a user's local sweat rate. The local sweat rate is then extrapolated to the whole body fluid loss using peer-reviewed and published methods. And of course, I'll put a link to those peer-reviewed and published methods in the show notes below. But it's pretty fascinating, right? Looking at the back of it. Fascinating, except for the sweat reservoir. That strikes me as a little gross. But it is fascinating how they use this sweat reservoir. Okay, so you should also know that even though you are sweating a lot, that's the main way that we lose fluids when we're out exercising. We also lose a lot of fluids through respiration. And this happens all the time, no matter what kind of exercise you're doing, no matter what temperature you're exercising in. But obviously we can see it when temperatures are below 45 degrees, because that's when we can start seeing our breath. Now, NIX does have an algorithm that calculates the user's respiration sweat loss during a workout. And obviously when we work out at a higher intensity, our respiration rate is going to be higher and we're going to lose more sweat. That's That's why the app asks you to put in your average running pace. And you might be wondering, like, Matt, what happens if I put in the wrong pace? Of course, we know that we all change paces during our workouts, and it has been found that differences of plus or minus 5% don't materially affect any of the results. But it is worth keeping it in mind when you start the app to make sure you've got your best guess at what your average pace is going to be. So the number that we see on our screen, on our watch, or if you're looking at your phone or your bike computer, those are the total sweat losses from respiration and from actual sweat. And it's important to remember that your respiration fluid loss is going to occur immediately, but you may not immediately start sweating. NIX says that that can take up to 20 minutes. NIX obviously didn't do any testing in Florida because I'd say I'm sweating in the first 15 seconds. So now I want to show you the NIX app, and this is what you're going to be looking at after you have done your runs, after you've been gathering some data. Like even after the first run, the NIX app is going to dig into that data, and you're going to be able to see how much you sweat, what electrolytes you've lost, the graph of how you lose sweat over time, all the fun stuff. Now you can see at the top of the screen, it's just got my pod status. Everything looks good. It's disconnected because I'm not wearing it right now. And then there's the NIX index. And basically the NIX index goes from 1 to 100. And if I press this little question mark, we can see that the NIX index is a measure of your thermoregulatory potential in the current environmental conditions from 1 to 100. For example, if the NIX index is at 87, your sweat rate is likely to be in the 87th percentile of your personal sweat rate range. So because I am filming this video in the middle of the day, we can see that the NIX index outside right now is 100, which means if I was to go out and go for a run, I would be at my maximal sweat rate. Then I want to scroll down just a little bit. Let's look at this sweat profile snapshot. Let's open that up. We can see that my average sweat rate is 53.6 ounces an hour. Scroll down just a little more. It looks like my electrolyte loss rate is 2119 milligrams an hour. And then if we scroll down a little more, my sweat composition is 20 milligrams an ounce. That's the number we want to pay attention to, because if I scroll down just a little more, we can see this hydration beverage chart, and basically this is giving you a lot of drinks. Not all the refueling hydration drinks, but a lot of them. And it's showing you as milligrams of electrolytes per ounce. So remember, we just saw that my average is 40 milligrams an ounce. And if we go down and we look on this chart, it looks like Noon Sport, Tailwind, Gatorade Endurance, NAT, Gatorade Gatorlight, all those look like they're going to be in the range. But what I found really fascinating is that I really don't lose a lot of electrolytes. Clearly, if there are drinks that replace over 100 milligrams an ounce of electrolytes, there are people that need that much. And it looks like I'm right in the middle, or am I? Hold on one second. Let's scroll down just a little more. This just shows my fluid loss as the NIX index increases. So it looks like we're seeing a fairly linear response to the NIX index, except when it gets to around 92, 93, it looks like, and then it increases at a considerably faster rate. Let's go back to the home screen, and I want to look at these insights. So right now I'm in the 94th percentile for electrolyte loss rate amongst all NIX users. That's pretty good. Clearly I've got some improving to do. Let's just take another look. Oh, I'm in the 100th percentile for sweat rate among all NIX users. I don't know if that's actually something to be proud about. Seems like it might not be. But apparently I am a sweaty person. Maybe that has something to do with the climate I'm living in? I'm not sure. If we scroll one more time, we see that my sweat rate for the last workout was 18% lower than the previous workout. Oh, and this is a good one. It says that based on my average sweat composition, 40 milligrams an ounce, the optimal hydration formula for me is NAC. I've never tried NAC. Maybe I should pick some up. But I do have a lot of hydration beverages at the house. So, for example, in that last run you saw me running, I was using Precision Hydration. Precision Hydration is one of those drinks that is not on the NIX list. But still, there's a lot of electrolytes in this drink. There's 750 milligrams of sodium in one tablet. So that may be an option. I do have a couple of Noon Sports. Those were right on the list. And this is probably going to be what I will use moving forward if I really want to pay attention to the data. But I should probably pick up a packet of NAC if I want to dial into that rehydration in the most optimum way. So there's some good actionable data there. So guys, now I want to hear from you. Is the NIX Hydration Biosensor something you're interested in? Can you get behind finding out this level of detail on your sweat rate, on your electrolyte loss? Drop a comment and let me know. I think there is a huge potential for improved athletic performance if we can actually understand everything we're losing so we know what to replace. Oh, and I did save this bit till last because I don't think it's important to a lot of people, but the whole packaging that the NIX Hydration Biosensor comes in is absolutely stunning. I mean, this is Apple level packaging. The box has a magnet on the front. So when you open up, there is a beautiful presentation, and then you open it up and everything's gorgeous inside. It's a really nice unboxing experience. Nobody buys a product for that, but it's a nice little extra. And with that, it's Matt B. This has been my review or deep dive or user experience. That's what it's been. This has been my user experience with the NIX Hydration Biosensor. And I'm really happy I got to try this out. Actually, just seeing those numbers in real time has made me want to fuel appropriately. There's a lot of times I just go out and I don't bring anything with me. But now that I've seen how much I'm actually losing, it's quantified it and made me realize that I can do better. Anyway, be kind, be happy, run well. I'll see you in a couple of days.